Let's compare our contrast adjustments between the primary color wheels and the HDR wheels. Let me go into my primaries here and let's pull up our vector scope so we can actually see this. So remember, with our vector scope, if our colors are pushing out to the circle, to the edge, it's representing an increase in saturation. And if our colors move towards the center, it's representing a decrease in saturation. Let me increase contrast here on our primary color wheels. Now, if you keep an eye on the image and our vector scope, you can see that the oranges are pushing out to the edge and the blues are pushing out to the edge, representing an increase in saturation. And then if I look at the image, this increase in contrast is giving me a lot more saturation to the point where it looks completely mental. And then I'll just bring it down. Less contrast means less saturation to the point where the image disappears and there's no saturation or contrast. That's what happens when we adjust our contrast in our primary color wheels. Now let's go to our HDR wheels. Let's look at our contrast here on our HDR wheels and increase the contrast. Now, as I increase the contrast, the saturation on our vector scope, it's not really changing, not like it was on our primary color wheels. And again, if I pull it down to -0 contrast, you can still see we have saturation in our image. So this basically means that even when we're making large contrast adjustments in the HDR palette, our image saturation will remain perceptually the same to your eye with small changes made to the actual saturation. So what you can do is if you do make an increase or decrease in your contrast in the HDR palette, you can go into your global saturation and just increase it or decrease it if you do need to add a little bit extra or take a little bit away, depending on the look you're trying to achieve.